welcome back to the channel, and today we have a special guest. So if you'd like to introduce yourself.
What's good, people? I'm Aya. I guess my Instagram handle is @Jiggy_Babs. Went to sixth form with the fashion road man right here. I'm around, so thought it'd be cool to do a video together. So yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, so basically we're talking about we're having just a discussion about different topics in fashion. So what do you want to start with?
Well, I think we were talking the other day, and I think a great starting point would be talking about whether we think streetwear deserves a place in high fashion. What kind of place does it hold in high fashion?
Yeah.
I think for me personally, I think seeing things like the Supreme Louis Vuitton collaboration, I think seeing things like Gucci and Dapper Dan's whole collaboration and work together is showing a sign that perhaps streetwear does deserve a place in higher fashion. And also the hiring of Virgil as obviously Louis' creative director is very indicative of that too. But I know that there's loads of critics out there and people that don't think the same. What do you think?
So obviously I think there's two sides to it. Obviously streetwear has a place in high fashion. So many people wouldn't be into high fashion now if they didn't start off being into streetwear.
Yeah.
So I think streetwear is kind of the entry point for people to come in, and then they go into high fashion. But also there's the flip side where it's if streetwear deserves a place in high fashion, then designers need to be as skilled as you would be required to say high fashion, or as to be as skilled as a high fashion house. If you're comparing yourself to people that design for big houses like Margiela, then I think your skills need to be up there. But in terms of does it deserve a place, yes. We've seen brands that used to criticize people like Virgil Abloh and different streetwear designers and say, oh, they're all this print on t-shirts and stuff, and now they're doing the same thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, it definitely deserves a place.
And I think with the movement towards utility, especially seeing things pouches come back into fashion, seeing things utility vests come into fashion, just fashion that actually has use. Streetwear is its very function is to provide for function. It's not streetwear clothes and items and accessories don't exist just to exist. They have a clear purpose. And I think because fashion consumers and people that are into fashion now, they're looking for more things for utility. I think fashion houses are going to start recognizing that naturally is going to shift them towards streetwear. Obviously we're seeing the LV pouch become a big thing as well too. So I think with the movement to higher utility, and more use of utility and utility design, brands like Alex becoming mad popular, the chest rig becoming very popular. I think streetwear is gonna cement itself in high fashion. And I agree with you. What metrics do we now have to measure these designers by is very important, and that's very central to the conversation around Virgil, but not just guys like Virgil, but all these other streetwear brands. So Supreme, Palace, anything, and any other streetwear brand you want to mention. What kind of metric do we now use to measure them? Do we measure them by conventional high-end fashion metrics, or do we actually look at streetwear and modern stuff and measure them off that? I think it's a difficult question to ask, but
I think there's different levels. So you can measure it in terms of how skilled they are at designing clothes, where you see a lot of the streetwear owners, they're not really up there. But then if you talk about impact, if that's the metric, then they have a lot of impact.
Yeah.
Like I said, Virgil has crazy impact. I think he's even inspired a lot of people to start designing, because some of his designs, especially for Off-White, were things that other people could do, and it inspired other people to get creative and stuff.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, people will say let's say Off-White isn't that well designed, and I think that as well. But then if he's inspired someone to design, that person might then become a really, really good designer.
Yeah.
Design crazy collections way past the level of Off-White. So if you think about impact, then he's definitely up there.
I think impact is a great metric because and you're using the example of Virgil and how he can inspire someone, and Samuel Ross is a perfect example of that.
Exactly.
He in turn with Virgil, he's gone off and he's done something amazing with the Cold War. So I think streetwear belonging in high fashion has to center around like the impact that it has on influence people to design and want to actually create things. And yeah, I think the shift towards like utility accessories is gonna make fashion houses like a Gucci actually reach out to a Dapper Dan and be like, oh,
yeah,
we want to use your cuts. We want to we want you to sell your cuts and sell your ideas and sell your accessories with us. We want to work with you. So yeah, I think I personally think like streetwear does deserve a place in high-end fashion. I don't know about you as a final like statement.
Yeah, as a final statement, yeah, streetwear definitely does deserve a place in high-end fashion. Cool. So another thing I wanted to talk about. So what do you think about this this whole time that Hedi Slimane has been at Celine?
I think it's just poor design. Like not poor design. Sorry, I think it's just poor. No, yeah, poor design. Like poor adaptation. Like there's no awareness of what makes Celine Celine. He's just gone, okay, I'm Hedi Slimane, I'm gonna do whatever I want. Did I pronounce that correctly?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna do whatever I want. Like what I've done at YSL, I'm just gonna recreate it and do it again for Celine. And you know, obviously I'm a man, but a lot of women like were outraged at what he did and how he threw away the identity of Celine. And so Celine doesn't mean as much to me, obviously, because Celine means much more to women than it would to me, a guy.
Yeah, but because menswear is a new thing.
Yeah, Celine menswear is a new thing, but I don't need to be a woman to see that he's literally just gone and completely trashed the identity of a long-standing fashion house and put his own imprint on it. And I think it's just poor awareness, and it's a sense of arrogance as well. Like what gives you the audacity to say, oh yeah, I'm a genius, so whatever I'm gonna do at Celine is gonna work, and what they've been doing for the last however many years is completely irrelevant.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think Hedi Slimane has like proven himself to be a one-trick pony. It's like what he did at Dior was like the slim, skinny, dark silhouettes. He kind of refined it again when he went to YSL, which he changed to SLP, and then at Celine, what I was hoping was, now it's a new fashion house. Phoebe Philo had like shown and established her look for Celine for so many years, and a lot of things people say is, well, different designers have their own different looks, and before Phoebe Philo was at Celine, it looked even different to what people think it looks like now. So I wasn't expecting, for that reason, I wasn't expecting Hedi Slimane to have collections that look exactly like Phoebe Philo's, but just different to what he had been doing, to show he's like got some
adapting.
creativity. He's adapting, he's learning new stuff, he's getting inspired by different things. Like to come back again with the same collection, it's like, why are you even at Celine? You should just make your own brand.
Exactly. Why not just open your own line? Why take over a fashion house and completely do your own thing? Like it doesn't make any sense, and it's not a challenge either. Like you're not proving yourself to be a good or creative or inspiring designer if all you're doing is not accepting the challenge of sticking to Phoebe Philo's previous work and just choosing to do your own thing. Like not accepting the challenge is almost copping out of the opportunity to be a great designer. Yeah,
exactly. And I feel like great designers can adapt and change with different houses that they go to. And I think to have the same look through 3 houses, I think that's a bit excessive. I know some people love Hedi Slimane and like they're like, oh, Hedi's gonna Hedi or whatever, Slimane's gonna Slimane, but it's like, come on, like we need some innovation.
Definitely need something different, man.
From Hedi Slimane.
Definitely.
All right, so what do you think about A Cold War?
I think its meteoric rise in the last few years has been amazing. I think what Simon Ross is doing definitely deserves a lot of attention. And, you know, as we were discussing earlier, the kind of consumer shift to utility, I think Simon Ross is really, really aware of that, and that is reflected in the cuts that he makes, the pieces that he centers his entire collections around. For example, using a really utilitarian silhouette like the Vomero, and not rebranding it, but adapting it and integrating your own brand identity, but still keeping this very functional. The fact that it's a running shoe, like still there, is just proof that Samuel Ross is incredibly creative and incredibly like tapped into what's going on, and he's still able to. He's great at revamping things whilst keeping his authenticity, in my opinion. That's one of the reasons why like A Cold War has done so well over the last few years. Yeah,
I agree, and even what I really like about Samuel Ross is there's a clear like progression of his designs. So literally when I first found out about it, like in like 2015, 2016ish, it was really just t-shirts with A Cold War on it, and then it kind of progressed and we saw more unique designs. We saw the concrete collection, and that was when he started exploring materials and different materials. Then over time he moved his clothing to Italy to be produced so the quality could be higher. Then we started seeing more interesting shapes, the quality was getting better, the designs were getting better. So I've actually liked seeing his progression, and obviously a lot of people didn't even know what A Cold War was until I think he had that first Nike collab. Yeah. And then that was when I think A Cold War just blew up. So that also shows like the power of like brand collabs. So what do you, to like snowball into that, what do you think is like the power of brand collabs?
Like I think I think brand collabs like have the potential to like not only reach a new base, like that's one of the main reasons people do collaborations, but also like to almost like create something new, like to create a new staple. Like I think Nike realized that they passed up on the moment with Kanye West when they saw how Ye went from being restricted at Nike to being unrestricted at Adidas. Yeah, now he from like 2015 to I'd say about 2016, 2017 had a big moment with the Yeezys and all of his Yeezy collections, and I think Nike looked at it and said, okay, we've learned from that now. We want to create our own moment. All right, Virgil, come. Here's 10 of our silhouettes. Go do what you want. Have fun, and then we'll put it out for you. And again, if you and like since 2017 all the way up to now, Nike have now all of a sudden become like the shoe brand. They're having their moment. So I think the power of collabs is not just to expand customer base, but to actually not shift culture, because everyone loves to use that phrase, shift culture, but to actually like create moments and like snowball almost, because now it's not just Virgil's collaboration with Nike that matters. We're seeing Travis Scott remix different Jordan silhouettes. We're seeing Samuel Ross do different things to Nike items. We're seeing Alex and Nike come together. So I think brand collabs actually create great moments for the industry as a whole. It's not just about increasing consumer base, it's about creating moments that will stand the test of time.
Yeah, I fully agree, and then also I think brand collabs just help highlight a brand. So it's kind of like publicity for a brand, kind of like I said, the A Cold War, how they got big. And there's a lot of people that didn't even know who Kiko Kostadinov was, I know personally, till the asics. It was that asics collab. So I think a lot of designers can benefit from collabing with a huge like sportswear company. It can also showcase like their imprint in like something that already exists, but also showcase the brand itself and make it bigger. Because at the end of the day, like brands are businesses. Like as much as we say like this designer is good and creative or whatever, like the reason they fully do this is to make a living.
To make a living,
So that is kind of like one of the most important things.
I'd say like, what would you say like have been like the most interesting collabs for you, but like not the mainstream ones? So aside from, educate me. So aside from like Virgil's at 10 and all the big major collabs, you mentioned Asics and
Kiko Kostadinov.
Kiko Kostadinov. Like, what other collabs did you think like were slept on in the last couple of years? And
well, a lot of people don't even know who Kiko Kostadinov is, but that was a really good collab. You had the Martin Rose Nike collab.
That just happened.
That one. It divided so many opinions. People saying the shoes look like they have brain tumors. Personally, like she works with Balenciaga and she works under Demna Gvasalia, who has been known to meme people and make stupid things that people look at. But the whole marketing scheme with Demna is, you see like a t-shirt sewn in with a t-shirt and you're like, what the hell is this? So you go on the Balenciaga website, and in the process you then see good clothes.
Yeah.
And then that's how people buy the clothes.
Yeah.
So it's all a marketing scheme. I think Martine Rose, a lot of people didn't even know who she was before the collab. And if it was just a normal pair of Monarchs, I don't think that many people would be talking about her. I think more people have then gone and looked into some of her stuff because it was so brash. Like, who the hell is this? Like, that made this crap? Like, so it's that. And then obviously, you've also got the little silhouettes with the Nike vest, the jersey that had the stitching on the shoulders and stuff like that. So yeah, those are some of the collabs that I thought were pretty cool.
Cool. So ID, sarcastically just put out an article about how the new Bottega Veneta collection is gonna be like your go-to if you miss the old Celine, if you're not a fan of Hedi Slimane's like new revolutionary, sharp-suited, silhouette shifting collection. So I know you saw the Bottega Veneta, new collection. Like, what do you think about it? Do you think it is like reminiscent of that old Celine? And what are your thoughts in general?
Yeah, like I said, like, first thing to talk about that is, like I always say, fashion brands are businesses. So it's clear Bottega Veneta have capitalized on the fact that Hedi Slimane has just sent away all the Phoebe Philo lovers, so they needed somewhere to go. And well, Bottega Veneta is kind of like filling that void. So the collection looked very similar to like Phoebe Philo's look. Obviously it wasn't the same, the shapes were kind of similar, but these are more stiff. What made it look more Bottega Veneta is like Bottega Veneta always has like those quilted designs and the woven designs, and a lot of those in the collection that Bottega Veneta had. But yeah, it looked very similar. But this just goes to show that like literally people will follow an aesthetic. Yeah. And Hedi Slimane has found a way to chase them away. They had somewhere to go, and now it's Bottega Veneta. So yes, in my opinion, it's really smart marketing more than anything else.
Do you think that's like indicative of maybe an age where like fashion is bigger than like a brand name? Like, for ages, the critique around fashion consumers is that, we're all brand washed. Like, we see a brand name and that's what attracts us to it. But do you think like this is evidence that no, people actually care about aesthetic, people actually care about quality, and they care about cuts and silhouettes and all of these more complicated, like higher end issues when it comes to fashion? Or do you think we're still brand washed to an extent?
I think what I think about all of this is that in the past, at least, brands didn't really have so many designers changing. So Yohji Yamamoto was just designing his own brand, so it was kind of just stable. It was kind of had the same look for over so many years. Same thing with Rei Kawakubo at Comme des Garçons, it had like the same look over loads of years. Angie Milamista, same thing, same look over a course of years. But in recent times now, like designers just hop and jump from different brands, and the brand identity is always changing. So I think now more than ever, you find what your aesthetic is, and then you follow whichever brand has that to offer at a specific time. Whereas back then, because everything was so stable, that's why people followed designers and brands, because there was more of a cult following, because things weren't changing as much. So yeah, I think that's my opinion on it.
Cool. I think I definitely agree with you. I think that because brands haven't been changing as much, like people got more used to like the aesthetic. Like people might go to Yohji Yamamoto because they can trust that he'll bring, all black looks, black silhouettes, and they can trust that his collaborations with Adidas will bring more of the exact same, more tech wear, more utilitarian stuff. And if, for example, somebody else took over that operation and they now did something different, they now don't trust that brand anymore for what they relied on it for. So they now have to go somewhere else to look for that. So I think, as opposed to becoming brand wash, I think it's more like we're relying on a brand to do this, and if it doesn't do this, then we're gonna find the other brand that's gonna cater to our needs.
Yeah, exactly.